All right, welcome back everybody. Today is the day you're going to learn how to play Gimme All Your Lovin' by ZZ Top off the Eliminator album. And the great, of course, the guitar is played by the great Billy Gibbons. I recently just went with a friend of mine to a small club here in the Nashville area where Guthrie Trapp was playing. And if you haven't checked him out, definitely check out that guy. But Guthrie is also very close friends with Billy Gibbons, and Billy Gibbons showed up. We were in this very, very small club with, I don't know, 15, 20 people, and there's Billy Gibbons sitting right over there, watching the same guy I'm watching, putting dollars in the hat like I am. Super nice guy by all accounts, but it just got me thinking, you know, I don't do enough Billy. I don't do enough ZZ Top on this channel. I love everything that they do. So we're going to tackle this classic. We're going to go over all the rhythm guitars and all the lead parts and break them all down for you. So if you haven't done so already and you like this kind of thing, jump down right now and click subscribe and ring the bell. The bell lets you know every time I drop new content, which I do every single week. All my videos have chapters in them, so you can jump right to the part of the lesson that you want to see. And if you're looking for other ways to support the channel, I really appreciate that. There's thanks, which is just like throwing a tip in the tip jar. Right below there's a button. Or you can join my Patreon page where I've got chord charts and tabs and exclusive content there. Check that out. And there's even a 12-foot chain store. All the links are down there in the description. Check it out. All right, well, this song is definitely a favorite of mine. This is one where I was just starting to learn guitar, and this was the first video I think that came out when Eliminator did in the early 80s. And just the greatest guitar. I just love the groove in it. It's got some really cool, solid, easy rhythm guitar parts once I dissected them. And the leads are just so in the pocket. And the great thing about what Billy Gibbons plays and their songs is they create the best foundation for just to play the most hooky licks in there. And it's almost like every single lead that guy plays on whatever song, but especially the hit songs, like every single one of those little licks that he does is a 100% melody hook. And it's like there's only one lick that should have been in that spot in that song, and he always finds it and he always puts it in the right place. And it's just uncanny, my opinion anyway. So all right, I'll do my best for approximating Billy Gibbons' tone. Of course, it's his tone, and I'm gonna come close with what I've got. And I'm gonna share all the settings for the gear that I've got for what you're gonna hear on the lesson here. I'm going with a Les Paul on my bridge pickup humbucker. I think it really sort of calls for that. I'm stacking a couple overdrives. I've got a full tone OCD, and you'll see the settings down below. And I'm stacking this overdrive, running it into a Boss Blues driver, which you'll see those settings. And then I've got a little bit of EQ going on with my Boss EQ. And from there, I'm running into my two Fender Tone Masters. So, you know, you always think sort of Marshall and big distorted sound and everything, and I think those pedals sort of get me really close, but I am super impressed with these Tone Master amps. I've got the Deluxe Reverb, which is a 1 12-inch speaker, and I've got the Princeton Reverb, which is a 1 10-inch speaker, and I'm feeding those, you know, that boosted gain signal into both of those, and that's what you're hearing sort of in the room during the lesson here, and that's what you heard on the front end of this video. That was my signal chain. Okay, so that's it. Like I said, Les Paul, bridge pickup. Little secret you might want to try if you haven't done so already. Like, get your gear to that overdrive sound that you want, but roll that volume knob back to like 9, 8.5. Just take the edge off of that. To my ear, it gets it in a much better place for control. So I got this going on for my sound. So in the ballpark, right? Okay, so the intro, let's talk about that. So I'm gonna focus on the rhythm guitar. There's sort of two guitar parts going on here. So the dominant one that you hear is, right, this one. right? So the chords that are happening there are F, B flat, and C. But you're never really going to play him in that way, right? What he does throughout this whole song on these parts is he's just pretty much living on the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string. He's playing little parts of chords on there. So the F looks like that, right? And if you can imagine, you know, that's part of an F that looks like this, right? But he's just playing these 3 notes. And then the next chord is a B flat. He's playing that straight across. And actually, he's keeping that note down on the C. And you can imagine, like, here's the, you know, the B flat chord that he would be playing. So he's like a B flat plus 2. And then resolving to the C, which is part of this kind of a C chord, right? So those together. I like wiggling them. Sometimes when you watch him live in later years, he does and either one works fine. You can either go back to that or just on the record, I sort of hear it more like, but so that's the main rhythm groove, right? So over that is a lead, and it's just a great blues minor pentatonic lead, right? Up in C. Right? So just dragging that across is how I do it. And the last one, right? And you do that big dive down, right? So while the main rhythm guitar is doing during the singing part of the verses, because that's all he keeps doing that. So that second guitar is doing a very, very tight punches. That's all it is. And it could be 2-string. Could be 2-string. I think it might be 3. But that's really all it is to give it that little pop and that feel against that, you know, because those rhythm chords are just hanging out there. Right? So that pop against it. Right? So that's that. When you go to the chorus, the chords are B flat, F, and to C, right? Now, it's really difficult to hear on the record. Obviously, the bass goes down to those low notes. And when I see them play it live, they do that too. Billy thumbs over. But to my ear on the record, it sounds like it's doing more like rather than that bottom end. But, you know, either way you go to the F. And one of them comes back. Right, that's the lead guitar while the other one's right. So So that's really all it is on the verses through the chorus. That repeats through the song, right? So now we're going to get to the intro to the guitar lead, and that really cool, you know, everything stops. And it's okay, so this is where the lead guitar is taking over and just going to kill everything, right? So this is all in C, right? During this section of the solo, it's going to be C blues, the 1-4-5. 1 being your C, 4 being the F, 5 being the G. But that first intro is based on a C. And if you can picture this, that sort of C position, what he's doing is just, he's grabbing that 6th fret on the 5th string, and he's bending that up, and he's hitting that 3rd fret. He's barred over on the 3rd and 4th strings, basically. So again, you're hitting your 5th string, your 4th string, and your 3rd string, right? 5th, 4th, and 3rd. Is that riff, right? So I'm doing a stretch with my middle and my ring finger to get that. You could do it if you're Superman. You could do it with your pinky if you're much better than I am. But I'm not ready there yet. So all right, so that gets us into the solo. Now, like I said, this solo, in my mind, it's like every little phrase is the exact phrase that was ordained by God to be in that measure of that song. If it's anything else, it's sort of less than, you know. But anyway, so let's go through each one of these. Well, the first one comes out of that. This whole first part of the solo is going to be down here on this 3rd to 5th fret sort of position of your C minor pentatonic. It's all going to be down here, okay, until we go up to the F chord, the 4 chord. Everything is going to happen down here. So the first phrase. So that's the first one. You're just climbing up. All right, then the next one, still in the same position. Love that. That's part of your C chord, right? And you grab that major 3rd, that E note there on your B string. Right? And you carry that out with your minor. All right, so those are the first two. Something I want to speak to too in all this is you can obviously hear throughout Billy's playing, especially when he's playing his Les Paul, he always gets those sort of pinch harmonics in there. Right? They sort of show up. And there's a lot of guys that have a lot of different technique for that. Mine is to take the pick and I sort of flatten it. So instead of like it hitting the string directly like that, I turn it a little bit so it sort of gets a scrape across the top, and it doesn't like really pick it as perfectly as the pointed end does. And I sort of get those things to show up a little bit when you have your overdrive sort of stacked up, right? Or you could just roll your pick to that side. Maybe that'll also get it for you. But that's how I do it. All right, back to our regularly scheduled programming. So we've done our first parts of the solo. Okay, the next phrase that comes in is, again, ordained by Almighty God. He's sort of giving a feel like it's like he's playing a slide. He's not playing it with a slide, but if you can picture a C chord like this, with your 3 notes straight across on the 5th fret there, on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. So you're going to slide that from your 4th fret to your 5th fret to get into it. And you're going to pick it 3 times, and you're going to go like this. So slowly. So great, right? Now, whether it's a down pick or an up pick on your first one, I've done both, but it sort of sounds similar in both ways. Is down, is up. You're going to accent the higher pitched notes when you're picking up, right? So that's that. And then the 4th ordained by God riff that has to be there, right, is this one. There it is, right? Just the perfect place. And this is where we're going to climb up to our next position. So recapping all 4 of those. So great. Okay, and now we're in minor pentatonic rock, Let It Fly, at your C position up here on the 8th fret, right? We're going to get into a little bit of that Chuck Berry double stop stuff, just a little. So we're up here. This is how that riff actually ends, right? Then you go into your bend. Love that move. Right, so we're just again, it's our C minor pentatonic. We're going to use that. Right, so that sort of positioning off of your C. Feel free to throw in your pinch harmonic whenever the mood strikes. Love this part here. So it's almost like this note is implied, but you never really hear very well. It's like he just clips it. Right? But you got to have something. You hit that major note there on the climb back. So that run again. Again, is there any other riff you want to have right there except that? And then this one? So great. So it's going to go to the F and to the G, right? The 4 and the 5. So when we go to the F, he's building off of this F7th shape here. That's the shape that he's building off of, right? But he's going to play and so that's the sort of finger shape that you're playing. How I do it, I sort of do a hybrid thing where I like to pick the 4th and the 2nd string together and then catch that 2nd and 1st string on 10 and 11. 10 on the B, 11 on the E. You add that 11 on there. That's your F7. Then you slide up to your G, 2 frets, same position. Right? And keep those 2 notes ringing, and you slide down to, because now we're back to our C. And that's part of the C scale, 7 scale there. So the notes again are your F7, it with, I forget what that little thing at the very end is, but it's right off of that. Right? Then we're back to our, does this little, and that's really it. All right, so let's take it slowly all the way through one time with that solo, okay? All right, and that is the greatness that is Billy Gibbons and his work on Gimme All Your Lovin'. My God, that song is just so awesome for me. So I hope you learned something new today. That is ZZ Top, Gimme All Your Lovin'. And great pentatonic work there. Very tasty parts. If you like what you saw and you haven't done so already, please jump down and click subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And ring the bell. The bell lets you know when I drop new content, which I do every single week. And let me know in the comments what you think about this lesson. And if there's another song you want me to take on and do similar to this, let me know what that would be too, okay? So until next week, take care, everybody.